G'day guys, welcome back.
In this week's video, we're doing a trip review of our trip from Esperance to Israelite Bay.
The good, the bad, and all the in between.
Let's get into it.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, so she ran away in her sleep and dreamed of paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her.
So, the main goal of this trip was attempting to go by beach from Esperance to Israelite Bay.
My personal favourite part of the trip was when we got up to like the top of those rocks up at just past Alexander Point, and we were like really high up, and it was just like you could see everything. I reckon that was by far my favourite spot.
And I think mine would say is the same day actually, but in the morning when we left and we started driving down Alexander Beach, a whole pod of dolphins was out and we spotted them as we were driving along, and I was like, no, let's stop. And we got the drone up and it was awesome. There was so many of them and it was just beautiful to see. It was such a beautiful morning.
So obviously with the good comes the bad.
Let's take a look at some of our worst moments from the trip.
This section here was a fail. You can't get anywhere on this beach. There's gates everywhere, and yeah, we can't go any further that way. So we're gonna have to backtrack. Just about to say it's not sounding.
My least favourite was that last period that we were on the beach when we checked the weather and it just all of a sudden turned to shit. Like, the weather the whole time was supposed to be perfect, and while we're actually doing like the whole focal point of the trip, it's just like weather's like, nah, we're gonna rain and rain a lot. And it is very lucky we didn't keep going because I ended up getting 18 mils of rain. So
yeah, we probably would have been stuck out there for a couple of days, which, like, in turn we did have the supplies to do that. We had enough food, we had enough water. We didn't have a heap of time up our hands because Riley had to go back to work by a certain date, so we didn't really have enough time to risk it.
And we didn't have enough fuel to turn around and
go
like
back.
go through mud holes and flog the car. So the car ended up just fixing itself.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what was going on. Fuel pump was reading, like mechanical wise, fuel pump was reading like it wasn't running properly. But then all of a sudden it was, so I have no idea what the goal was with it.
This is not our first time that we've had issues with fuel-related things in Esperance, so we're wondering if there's something not great.
If you have had any issues like that, let us know, because if other people are actually experiencing this, I'm just never going to fuel up in Esperance again. Because, this is the second trip that we've had that we fueled up in Esperance.
And different...
At a different
different
spot.
fuel station as well, not the same fuel station.
And both times had issues. Fuel filters just like full of sludge, like brand new fuel filters full of sludge. So I'm not super happy about that.
We can't say that it's down to the long driving. The patrol's been up to Exmouth, which is even further. So it's not, I don't think it's got anything to do with that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the actual cause is that, and if it is related to the fuel that's coming from Esperance.
But besides that, the car was perfect. Used really good fuel on the way there. On the way back, it used a fair bit more fuel. I think that's quite related to the fuel pump issue.
Yeah.
I reckon it fixed itself after it just decided to stop spinning the dummy. But that is the last time that car is going on a trip with a ZD30 in it.
Yes, some of you may have noticed that we've been hinting at some big things coming for the patrol, and they are finally in the actual works, and the patrol is going to be off the road for a little while, so you will see a bit more of the Ranger.
Some other vehicles as well
might be joining the fleet, so stay tuned for all of that. They'll be coming soon.
Obviously we have the Navara still at the moment.
Yeah.
We have decided that we're going to get rid of the Navara to make way for this other car that we've also purchased. This one is a bit more up our alley.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that we ever intended on keeping the Navara. but something better has definitely come up. So we're excited to show you guys that. Drop your comments down below at some guesses at what new full drive we've picked up. And when I say it's not new.
It's not new and it's not common in Australia. That's probably all we usually get. So some of you might be interested in how much this trip cost us in a 20-year-old vehicle, completely loaded, quite heavy, and with a 4-cylinder diesel. So in total, our trip cost was just under $1,300, but that did not include the shopping trip that we did before that. So if we add that in, it is a lot closer to $1,600.
And also it doesn't include, obviously, all the tools, spares, and new accessories we bought prior to the trip either. So this is just talking about money we spent while on the trip. So fuel, any food that we bought while away, any food, like any takeout that we got, campsites, activities, and like touristic sort of things.
So you could definitely do it for a lot cheaper than we did. We just spent money. I wasn't really caring too much. I didn't go to the cheapest fuel stations. I didn't just not do stuff because it costs a little bit extra money. We got takeaway, we got coffees, you could definitely have done it cheaper.
I think also, I mean, we were off grid for quite a while. So if you think about that, we definitely could have spent more. It was only when we were in towns that we stopped and got something. But we love supporting local communities, small country towns. So every time we drove past one and it was, brunch time, lunchtime, we stop and get a coffee and something to eat. And that's just all in doing our part in supporting everyone.
We did also stay in a cabin for one night. So that is an extra like $150 it cost us. So you add up that as well. Like there's just...
Yeah,
we definitely...
there was a few extra expenses that we probably didn't need to have.
Prices may vary as well, depending on the season. So we went before prime season.
Yeah.
So some of the places that we mentioned might be more expensive if you're going in actual summer, because it's prime season down there is summer.
So like we mentioned, we did add a couple of new accessories to the car before we started this trip. One of the main ones, and probably our best purchase, I would say, is our 30-second awning.
I absolutely love it so far. There is no issues so far. We see lots of yous commenting saying like we're not going to regret it. So far, we definitely don't regret it, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely tested it out on the windy beaches, and we had no issues with it.
The bag is good. That bag got smashed. Some of the spots the camera might not pick it up, but the car was in actually like full sideways, going straight through bushes, and it was just like the bag got smashed and no issues at all. Same as with the shower tent bag as well.
Yeah.
We had no issues with that. We were a bit worried about that one. We have used it before, and the brackets that they come supplied with make it flimsy as. When you actually hard mount the shower tent to the rooftop tent, it's strong enough to where it doesn't flop around everywhere.
We did only use that once, and I'd say if we'd stayed on our trip for the whole amount of time that we were supposed to, we probably would have used it more. But we don't have an actual proper hot water system shower set up. So if we obviously had one of those, we would use it more. So we probably could have gone without it, but it is something that we already had and thought we may as well just chuck on there. Something else that we picked up was the tyre bag for the rear spare tyre. It's not on at the moment, but something else that we also were really happy with, we ended up getting the
rugged 4x4 bag. At first, we were like a little bit like, oh, it's just a bag. It's a little bit expensive, but I'm pretty happy with the build quality is great. It doesn't look small. It doesn't look... A lot of them are small.
Yeah.
And they're not that much cheaper either. They're like an extra, I guess, like $60 cheaper, but they don't come with the Max Trax holder. This is the only one that I could find at the time with the Max Trax holders.
So obviously that was good when we were off-road. We could chuck the Max Trax in there. When we went through towns and we were stopping for like a long period of time, we did take them off and put them in the back of the car because there's no real way of like locking them onto there. So we obviously didn't want them to get stolen. So we did just chuck them in the car. But yeah, it holds a lot. We had 2 full bags of dirty clothes in there, a rubbish bag, the shower foam mats in there, spare parts for the car in the bottom of it, and then obviously the max tracks as well. So that's quite a bit when you think about it.
Yeah.
And it is nice to have somewhere to put all the dirty stuff so you don't have to have it in the car, especially when you're in a wagon.
And especially like with the rubbish bags, because we did go a couple of days without seeing a bin. So
yeah,
it was good to actually have somewhere to put it. With our thoughts with the rear setup, this is the first time we've ever used this drop-down table, and I actually like it. It's been in the car for years. It's never been used. If I'm being honest and I recommend it to people, I would not recommend getting a drop-down table.
I think it depends on your setup. Prior, we rearranged everything a little bit. So when we first originally put the drop-down table on, we had our food and kitchen supplies in that drawer. So obviously once you put the table down, then you couldn't get in it. So we swapped them around and we changed it all around a bit. So it made it still that we could still get into our kitchen stuff even with the drop-down table. So that made it a lot better. Obviously, it makes it hard. The kitchen drawer is not too bad because it's not very deep, but if it was any deeper, you wouldn't be able to reach into the back of it with the table out at the same time. But I think with a few modifications that we made before the trip, it definitely made it better than what it has been in the past when trying to camp with the wagon.
Yeah, especially with these dual open doors, it's a lot more specific because a lot of them don't have them, and a lot of you have trays and canopy setups and all that. But another thing that definitely helps out is putting in the extra arm on this small door to make it open wider, the extra gas strut.
Yeah.
That definitely helps as well. If you've been in these, you know they open and they only open like that. Whereas you get rid of the original gas strut, you can make it open it enough that you can actually get into your car.
I think it just, my overall thing was making sure that we were organised and had everything laid out in a way that made it as easy as possible. And I think we did achieve that. I think there wasn't any points where we're like, no, this is terrible. Don't like this. Let's just take the Ranger next time because the canopy's so much better. Like there was no points in the trip that we sort of had those thoughts. There was obviously times where it was like, it's a little bit inconvenient, but for the type of trip that we were doing and the type of camping that we were doing, it did its job and I can't really complain.
Next, we want to talk about our favourite camp spots. So the campsites we stayed at were Cozy Corner, Hamersley Inlet, Alexander Bay, just outside of Kennedy's Beach, Cape Arid. We spent a night in Poison Creek as well, and then we spent another night in a cabin, and then the last night was in Wave Rock short stay on someone's farm.
Yeah.
Personally, my favourite one was the free camp just outside of Kennedy's Beach, the one that we stayed at where I caught the fish.
Yeah.
But out of all the ones we paid for, my favourite would definitely have to be Hamersley Inlet.
Yeah, such a beautiful place, close enough to the water. But yeah, it was really nice, really peaceful. I would also like to give an honourable mention to Alexander Bay. Another one that was really nice.
Yeah, that one was really, really
Could
nice.
definitely
as well.
spend some more time out there. And then also the short stay at Hyden. It was on someone's property. They had it set up really nice. I think there was 8 or 9 spots along in this little paddock area, but you're sort of distanced away from everyone. You're not on top of each other. It was $25 a night, which is a little bit up there. There was flushable toilets, but they were the only facilities there.
Yep.
So a little bit price-wise is up there, but based off what else is there to stay in, I think that's definitely a good alternative and something to look into.
Yeah. Every campsite we paid for as well had toilets. They were all lawn-drop toilets.
Yeah.
But they were all kept in quite good condition as well. Honestly, recommend to stay at every place that we've stayed at.
Poison Creek is a little bit definitely older and has older facilities. You can tell that hasn't been upgraded for a long time. Older camp kitchen, like with the gas cooker and that, and then obviously the toilet itself is a lot older, but still perfectly fine condition. But yeah, just not as new and updated as some of the other ones, which we were very impressed by.
Yes, very, very impressed. Not expecting almost brand new stuff.
Yeah,
It
pretty
literally
much
was
all
like
of them.
brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good to see that our money is going back towards something.
So, in our opinion, was it worth it? We both believe yes.
We will definitely be going back to finish the trip, and we might even start the other way. So we might start at Israelite Bay and work our way back this time. There are so many cool old historical buildings and stuff in Israelite Bay that I'm a bit upset that we didn't get to see. So it will be good to start there maybe potentially and work our way back now that we know where we're going.
Or go east, maybe. Not 100% sure what we're going to do yet.
Even further south, we could start at Israelite Bay and head then into South Australia. There's so many different ways that we could go around the trip, but we will definitely be back, that's for sure. Good tip is make sure that you have your recovery gear. As you guys will see, we got bogged.
The literal saviour of our entire trip was that little shovel.
Yeah.
That thing literally saved us. It would have, I had the max track, so I still could have dug us out, but having that shovel there meant that we could actually dig out properly.
Yeah, I mean, it took us 2 hours to dig out of there. So just to think about what it would have taken trying to dig with either the max tracks or whatever we could have found if we didn't have a shovel. Just a simple tool like that. And the one that we've got, I have no idea where it's from.
I think I found it at Maruna Dam once.
I think we found it somewhere, but it's a little like fold up one, so it takes up like no space. But yeah, that was literally
the saviour. That was like the MVP of the whole trip. That saved us big time there. Let down your tyres, and you need a more capable car to do the full driving sections across the mountains that we did. You will need a more capable car.
I think also being prepared, so making sure that you have enough food and water, fuel, all of those things is also very important. Watching the tides, that's something that's also important. We did mention that a couple of times. We never had any close calls or anything because we did keep an eye on it, but just being...
You can definitely see the water line was way high. Up some of those beaches will be completely gone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long for tides to turn.
Some of them are quite narrow, the ones that we went through. So definitely being aware of that. We found a good, we just Googled it anyway, but at Cape Arid National Park, they had a list of all the tides, and they also had a piece of paper that had ranger's notes on it with all the tracks. And that's where we found out that the Belladonna track and the Gora track and all of those tracks that we would have had to take in to get out of Israelite Bay are impassable when wet, apparently. I think it's, something to check, but when you head through the national parks, there is always some good information up on all the boards. When you head out from Esperance, there is a big road sign on the side of the road that does mention what tracks are open, what are closed, and that. So obviously one of the ones that was closed was Thomas Fishery. That was closed, which we were looking at going out. And then it does say that when there is rain, tracks like Kennedy's Beach and that does get closed.
Yeah.
So be mindful of that and have alternative routes, which is a bit hard when there's not a lot of routes, but just be mindful of that.
And like with some of the tracks that we plan to take, like on maps, it looks easy. It looks like it's driven all the time, but then we'd rock up and it'd be gates. So that will wrap this one up, guys. If you'd like to see these little recaps, let us know, because we'll do them after every single trip that we do. Well, that's more than like a couple days. Do more of like a rundown pre-trip financial wise. I know some people are quite interested in that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, we did roughly 3,000 Ks and it only cost us all up probably $1,800 if we include the shopping. But obviously we've spent quite a lot of money on the car, but you could definitely do it without the stuff that we've put on this car. So that'll bring us to the end. We hope you guys enjoyed.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers for watching.